How you going? Star Off Grid here. Well, just looking at this solar system, I've put some new panels up, the 8 new panels, although it looks like it tricked me yesterday. I thought it was 16 new panels from a distance. So we've got the driveway just there coming up, so that comes up to the property. The old solar panels over there, up on that, on the truck. And so we have 8 new panels along here. Now when I looked at it from a distance, see how there's like double, one panel is like 2 panels. It actually is 2 panels. So I counted 16. I thought, why have I got 16? And from a distance, from here up close, you can see that it's a separate panel. 1 panel, 2 panel, 3 panel, 4 panel, 5 panel, 6 panel, 7 panel, 8 panel. But from a distance, it looked like 16, and I thought, how did I end up with 16 panels? Anyway, so I haven't moved the other panels yet. Chickens are just coming around to see what I'm doing. I've got all 4 roosters here, and the hen, she's running over now to see what's going on. What's going on, chickies? So the other 8 panels that I have on the other side of the array, the old array, they will go along there next to these. There's only, if you can see, there's a shade here. That's my only problem, which is that a big tree over there towards the sun. And I'm just going to see how that goes. I'm making heaps of power. It doesn't make it makes any difference. The shade going over these panels probably only takes half an hour, maybe less. But I went to chop that tree down, and from here I thought, you know, it is the tallest tree there, so I should have known it was the biggest, thickest tree. I've never chopped a tree down. I went over there with all my gear on and everything, and I looked at it and went, I'm not doing that for my first tree, because it's about 800 mil wide, so it's a fair tree, you know. For your first tree you've ever lopped, it's a bit too big for me, so I'll probably call someone to help me do that. And that'll get rid of that, but it's not a huge issue anyway. It's only took about half an hour, and we're getting sun from so much earlier now. I wasn't making power till 9:30. I reckon I'm making power at 7 a.m. now, you know, so does it really matter? Probably not. Eventually that tree should come down anyway, because it's within my radius of my bushfire boundary, so it should actually be down. If it doesn't come down, the shed goes up. These panels back here will have no light anyway, because the shed will be in their way. They'll be on the roof, so maybe I don't need to do the tree, or if I do the tree, I'll get someone to do it, because for your first tree to cut down, 800 mil wide tree is not the go, I don't think, anyway. No matter how many YouTube videos I watch, I don't think I'm going to be confident enough to do that. So let's have a look over here. We've got the little chickies in here. We had I don't know if you can see them, but they're out here now, and we lost one yesterday because actually I'll just open that up so they can get some sunlight. Open that up, now they can get some sunlight. Now what happened was, there's still 10, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black ones. 5 white ones. 4 black ones. 9. So I've lost 2. There's one I can't find. I don't know what the story is. When I come out, they all look they were looking a bit worse for wear. Like they're a bit scruffy from what they looked before. There was 3 in the next cage, so I found a hole where they went through. I brought them all back over here, but I'm thinking maybe 4 went that way, and that the chickens actually grabbed one and probably killed it, because that's what they do. They don't know what to do. Where'd these little birds come from? This power here for the 2 heated beds, the plug come out of it, probably me by accident, so they've had a night without any warmth. And yeah, so one died, one is missing. I don't know where it is. If there was 4 that went in next door to the other cage, I only found 3. I put the 3 back and then I fixed the cage. That was the first thing I noticed, that there was 3 in the other cage. I thought, what are they doing there? And when I got them back, and then the others all looked a bit like, I don't know, they didn't look right. They looked their feathers weren't as fluffy as usual. Then I noticed the plug out, and then I noticed the dead one. And the other one, if it was next door and the roosters or the hen, even the hen, come in and those 3 little chicks were in there, well, maybe they've grabbed one and taken it out and killed it somewhere. So if I could find it later, or it's disappeared. The only other option is that hawk thing come back, actually got in there, and because it can go straight in. This was up like that, so it can go straight in here. Whether it knocked the plug out, that would make that would explain that, and whether it took one. So, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it around anywhere. If only these chickens here that keep following me around everywhere, if they could talk, I'd know a lot. So let's keep moving on. Come on, chickens. So all these panels now have to be moved over to the other side. So I'll do that this afternoon. Pretty much as soon as I get to 100% today, I'll move these. That won't take long. Half an hour, if that. I'm running all the panels here, even though some are shaded, so they're probably not working that well, but the other ones are working really well, so it hasn't affected me. What's going on, Bockies? Bocky Box? Hey? So, veggies are looking really good. I'm gonna have to start eating veggies. I was looking up what to do with it all. Kale, make milkshakes apparently. Alright, see what happens. It was just an experiment anyway. There's too much of everything. There's only 2 things and there's too much of it. So I've got to sort that out and start looking at what I'm going to plant for spring. Okay, just a quick update. 9:45 and I'm making 4,000 watts. The maximum I used to make was about 3,800, so I'm making more at 9:45 than what I did in the whole day before, so that's great. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock in the morning. We've got nearly 6,000 watts and we're at 85% charge, so I reckon 11 o'clock we'll be fully charged and we'll be getting a whole lot more power well, we're still not getting all the power out of the old panels because they're still under shade. We'll have a look at that now. So these panels still aren't making full power because of the shading in the corner. 10 to 11 and I've got 100%, but now it's taking it from the battery. There's nothing coming in on the inverter, so I don't know why that is. We'll have a look at that in another half an hour and see if that's switched around, because sometimes this does do one thing for 1 minute and then it does another thing for another. So at the moment what it's doing is it's getting nothing from the inverter, even though it's only, let's say, 11 o'clock now and we're making 6,000 watts out there, but it's saying it doesn't need any of it because I'm using the battery. Now what I want it to do is not use the battery and just pull what it needs to do to maintain the battery, or just to use the AC load. So we'll see what happens about that. I'm not sure why that's happening at the moment. Okay, so that's what I want to see. I'm at 100%. I've got 99 watts going in, 100 watts going into the battery just to keep it topped up, and then I've got 793, 750, 760, so 700 and something coming from the inverter, and the AC loads are 617. So it's pulling enough power to run the loads and to top the battery up and keep it at 100%. That's what I want. And that's happened at 11 o'clock in the morning. All right, so 11 o'clock in the morning and the shade's just gone off, or just about to go off this panel. So we're at just about at full power. And the most we got in the morning was about 6,000 watts, but now it'd be making 7,500 watts, if not more. But it's not requiring that power because we've charged the battery at 11 a.m. So probably 10 to 11 it was charged. So the best I've done so far is charged it by 1 o'clock. With these new panels and a full day of sun, but this is pretty much full day of sun. There's just been a little tiny bit of shading, but not much at all. But it's charged, the system has charged the battery at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. So that's brilliant. At 11 a.m., 100% full, I'm using 8,000 watts. So there's an extra 7,000 watts out there that's not being used. So, you know, if I've got extra loads, I've got plenty of power to cover them. So that's really good. I guess at this point, I'm happy with everything. There's nothing I need to do now, and just sit back and know that when I move into the shed, I've got heaps of power, and realistically my loads aren't going to go up that much. But yeah, when I run the PA system and basically my media room, I'm going to have a whole recording studio in there. So when that's up and running, I'll be using a bit of power. So if I was to add it up quickly, it would be about 40 grand. And if I did a calculation once about how long that would take to pay off, it's about 30 years, right? So when you think about that, 30 years, is this system going to last 30 years? And the answer is most likely not. Some of these things are going to break down. Hopefully they won't. We'll see what happens. You know, I can't really predict that. The battery's going to last 30 years. Probably the biggest one there is how long the battery's going to last. They're lithium-ion batteries. What's the length of that, right? But I've never ever looked at it as, oh yeah, this is the way to go because it's free energy. Well, it's not free energy. It's costing you money to do this. But the thing is that I'd rather be doing it where I've got no bill to pay ever. I never ever have to think about a bill to pay. It's just running, right? And I'm absorbing the sunlight, and everything that I use on the property power-wise is absorbed from the sun, so it is free, right? I don't have to think about how much I use. It's free to me, right? It's money that I've already spent, and we get the benefit of it. But the fact of the matter is that I'm not adding to greenhouse gases unless there's some in the process of making some of these parts. But as far as a coal-fired system where most people get their power, I'm not contributing to that. So that's the way I look at it. I know some people go, oh yeah, but how many years before you get does it pay itself back? Well, I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about, I guess the question is, how many years does it help the atmosphere, me not contributing to the greenhouse gases? That's more of a question for me. And which is that, well, I'm not having any effect on the greenhouse gases at all, carbon emissions or anything like that. So that's the way I see it. That's why we should be doing it, All right, well, that's all I got for you. I'm Star Off Grid. Hope you enjoy your day.